Hello, dear friends. The final trigger awaits the destruction of the elite, the decryption of the Vatican archive, and the coalition's green light. Opinion piece. Pole shift. Revelations. Pole reversal. Rotation shift. Magnetic reset. We are in a countdown. Sovereignty wave in Europe. Let's start. Pole shifts are known as magnetic, geomagnetic, or polarity reversals. They involve the alteration of the orientation of the Earth's magnetic field, causing the north magnetic pole to become the south pole and vice versa. These events have occurred hundreds of times in Earth's history and can last hundreds of or thousands of years, involving a decrease and then recovery of the magnetic field strength. A magnetic pole shift on Earth typically takes between 1,000 and 10,000 years to complete, according to a study of geological records. The process involves a phase of instability in the orientation of the magnetic field, followed by the establishment of a new polarity. The Earth's axis maintains an average tilt of 23.5 degrees with respect to the orbital plane, but fluctuates periodically due to astronomical and geophysical effects. However, there is also speculation about a change in the Earth's rotational axis, which is not completely fixed but rather experiences gradual shifts known as polar drift due to the redistribution of masses on the planet, caused by both natural causes and human activities, such as the construction of large dams and destruction of groundwater. Between 1835 and 2011, the Earth's rotational axis shifted by more than 1 meter, largely due to the storage of water in thousands of dams around the world and to a lesser extent to groundwater extraction. Pole reversal. When the poles reverse, the Spratly Islands would become the new South Pole and the location in Brazil would become the new North Pole, according to Florida Makis. She presents a hypothesis about the possible accelerated shift of the magnetic poles and its geopolitical implications, focusing on anomalies observed in South America, Southeast Asia, and the strategic deployment of China and Brazil. Makis presents his theory based on satellite images and Google Earth maps, where he observes blue and green lines and anomalies in South America and in the ocean of Peru. He highlights a pattern on land and sea surfaces that appears to connect with the area called Brazil's North Pole, and uses map tunneling tools to show that this point directly connects to the Spratly Islands region in the South China Sea, where China is building artificial islands and military bases. The area called Brazil's North Pole is a locality located at the municipality of Pauini in the state of Amazonas, within the northern region of Brazil. The exact population of this area is unrecorded, indicating that it is a sparsely populated or remote area. He also postulates that countries such as China and Brazil, both part of the BRICS, are taking strategic steps to prepare for the supposed pole shift, building infrastructure and colonizing key regions. In his view, controlling the new poles would be essential for future global control. Magnetic reset. Every 3,000 years, a cataclysm known as the pole shift occurs. Our planet's magnetic field is reset. This is because the Earth has a programmed defense mechanism that eliminates all technology and civilizations that don't coexist in harmony with nature. The severity of each reset depends on the damage caused to the Earth's environment. In the biblical chapter of Revelations, the pole shift is described by the 7 trumpets, bowls and seals. Together, they represent the damage the Earth would suffer during that period. The so-called rapture would be nothing more than the suspension of gravity as the electromagnetic field is reset. The demiurge controlled this world through a matrix simulation of soul traps. The cabal works for that false god and his archon servants. In the fifth dimension, there is no ego, and the free universe is available to all. Telepathy, telekinesis, and thought creation govern the 5D realm. Our world operates in a cycle of 8 ages: iron, bronze, silver, and 5 golden ages, each lasting 3,000 years. These metallic ages also correspond to the astrological ages, each lasting 2,000 years. As above, so below. Matters on the physical plane are affected by matters on the etheric plane. The Cabal's goal is to control the destiny of our souls for their own benefit. With this knowledge, you can make your own decision about your destiny and where to go. Reset News. GSR's preparations continue to ensure debt forgiveness, asset redistribution, and the dismantling of centralized banking structures. President Trump said citizens would be very happy at the end of this month, next Wednesday, September 30th. According to Charlie Ward, what happened at the UN wasn't a technological glitch. It was a message and a threat, a sign that they are willing to try everything to stop Trump. At 8:50 a.m., in front of the international press, Trump and Melania boarded the escalator. As soon as he touched it, it shut off. The other escalator continued working. The teleprompter also failed seconds later. Coincidences impossible. Trump didn't even flinch. Melania didn't even flinch. They climbed those stairs anyway and showed the world who the enemy is. It was a controlled event in one of the most secure buildings in the world, meaning a UN agent with security clearance was involved. Remote systems were accessed and timed. The UN is full of globalist agents hiding behind immunity, pushing the policies of the Davos Forum and WHO surveillance. Trump's presence threatens that agenda. Trump said he will not allow Israel to annex the West Bank. Delegations from several countries left the UN hall to applaud before Netanyahu's speech. Operation White Swan operation is in full swing across all continents, targeting global assets, infrastructure, and personnel. The campaign is accelerating despite media silence. White hats have dismantled cloning centers in Colorado Springs, on Iceland's Langhokul Glacier, and in the Romanian Carpathians. Data records are being decrypted, linking cloned identities to public figures. Central banks are being algorithmically drained and neutralized. IRS server nodes have been reduced to 7%, all under military control. The national treasuries of the US, Brazil, India, Hungary, Kazakhstan, and Argentina are being activated using quantum technology. The final trigger awaits elite extractions, Vatican archive decryption, and the coalition green light. Inside sources confirm the implementation period is between 2025 and 26. Takedowns. Operations have escalated to synchronized takedowns across multiple continents. QFS deployment and GSER activation are progressing safely. Public exposure will occur once high-value targets are neutralized. The EBS is ready. Links to the Tesla grid were completed on September 16th. Starlink NORAD link keys were installed, and global evidence files were finalized. Activation requires final level 1 extractions, Vatican archive decryption, and coalition approval. Silent test cycles have already been conducted in 11 countries. Mission status. The multi-continental attack continues. Public events will be held once the main target are captured. Avoid large cities, air travel, and media alerts. Stay in position. The storm window is open. Trump's appointee is reviewing the end of Basel III, and the monetary system is being restructured. Automakers are realizing there is no demand for electric vehicles. Demand for gold is blooming. Exchanges. Although early adopters, military retirees, and Level 3 humanitarian operators are already seeing live transactions, the system is still being redefined and synchronized with biometric verification worldwide. Private exchanges are active. Level 4B friends were pre-selected and invited to private routes through a secure link website. Fares are locked. The public phase comes after Level 4B. Governments are preparing controlled disclosures. The emergency broadcast system EBS is rumored to contain segments revealing medbed technology to the public. Once this happens, quantum healing centers would be announced, where civilians would be called in stages. This isn't science fiction. This is classified science coming to light. The countdown has begun, and once the doors are opened, the world will never return to the old system. We live in a Truman Show, but not the sweet one Hollywood sold us, but a twisted, sick, and evil version, where the actors lack soul and the script is pure manipulation, according to Laura Aboli. The age of manipulation is over. The age of intelligence and genius has arrived. Fulford summary. According to Benjamin Fulford, Trump is being threatened with death if he reveals the truth about Charlie Kirk's murder. Trump now says Netanyahu is annoying me, according to the press. He is angry about Gaza and the fact that Israel attacked Qatar, a US ally. Muslim countries held a summit in response to the attack on Qatar. Saudi Arabia announced a military alliance with Pakistan at this meeting. Given that 81% of Pakistan's arms imports come from China, this also means that Saudi Arabia has allied itself with China. Africa announced its separation from Western financial and internet systems. Developing countries are fighting big tech's control over global data. Africans have also separated themselves from Western central banks and established their own payment systems. Other countries like India and Vietnam are doing the same. Russia and China have been doing so for a long time. Africa is now a good investment bet because it can only grow from here. There is a divorce in the Anglo-Saxon Five Eyes. Australia, Canada, and the UK have joined more than 150 other countries and recognized Palestine. France has also recognized Palestine. There was a discussion with Trump about Ukraine during his visit to the UK last week. A British royal said Trump was unpleasant and increasingly unfriendly and distrustful. in quotes. He added that Mr. Trump sees himself as a ringleader of the usurious class enrichment of commoners. An Instagram link depicting the type of conversation that took place at the dinner. Director of Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard is preventing allies from receiving information about the Russia-Ukraine peace talks. The governor of Poland, Lithuania and Estonia attempted several Russian attacks to invoke NATO's Article 4, but Trump didn't take the bait. President Putin has concluded that military escalation is the best way to force Ukraine to negotiate on his terms. US observers were given access to a military exercise in Belarus targeting Europe. General Douglas MacGregor claims the US is 8 to 9 years behind China and Russia militarily. According to the general, the UK, France and Germany could mobilize fewer than 90,000 troops, so Russia could march all the way to the Atlantic Ocean if it wanted. Perhaps Russia doesn't have to do anything because Europe's woke regimes seem to be imploding. Protests. A sovereignist wave is sweeping Europe right now. In the UK, millions of people protested against the government. If raising your country's flag is considered an act of rebellion, it means your country is under foreign occupation. Anti-government demonstrations continue in France. HARP is being used against protesters, with flash floods in protest areas like Marseille. In the Netherlands, the police have been overwhelmed by protesters. In Germany, the AfD party is leading the polls. Archbishop Vigano joins the call to free imprisoned lawyer Rainer Fuellmich. Marine Le Pen's national rally is number 1 in France. Giorgia Meloni of the Brothers of Italy is number 1 in Italy. The Freedom Party is number 1 in Austria. Nigel Farage's Reform UK project is leading in Britain. Nobel Prize-winning economist Joseph Stiglitz claims that Eastern Europe is at least twice as poor as it would have been had it not joined the EU. Ursula von der Leyen faces 2 votes of no confidence this week. The White Hats are attacking the dirty money used to manipulate people. We are seeing airports being closed to prevent malicious actors from fleeing. This time they may not find refuge in Argentina. President Milei is facing a new crisis amid the currency collapse. The market is in panic, Milei said. It seems they are trying to incite race wars between Muslims and Christians. Edward Snowden says HARP is a weapon of global control. During his escape from Hong Kong, Snowden and his WikiLeaks staff had to protect themselves from radio-induced impulses. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.